Special election is approaching to fill the now vacant state rep seat left by Republican Don Humison. Democratic candidate for the seat, John Velis, is here live to talk about why he's running. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So first, for the people at home, as this special election approaches in April, talk to us about who you are. What made you decide to run for this seat?
Okay, well, as you know, my name is John Velis. I'm an attorney out of Westfield, Massachusetts. Captain in the United States Army, recently returned from a deployment overseas to Afghanistan. And I just really believe in public service. Putting the welfare, the benefit of others in front of yourself is something that I've always valued, and want to continue by being Westfield's next state representative.
Right, and you have a lot of roots in Westfield, so talk about maybe your first initiatives, what you'd like to see changed, what you think is working.
With me, it's more about going door to door, talking to people on the phone. You really get, there's a sense of disgust with the political climate today. You've got a situation, particularly in Washington, D.C., where, you know, both parties are refusing to talk to each other, you know, and that results in things like government shutdowns. The best thing about this race that I'm running for, the 4th Hamden District, it's comprised just of the city of Westfield.
Right.
So it allowed me to have a singular focus. What's best for the people of Westfield, putting Westfield first, and quite frankly, I don't care who comes up with a good idea. If it's a Republican and it's good for Westfield, I'll support it. A Democrat, an independent. It's all about helping the people of Westfield first, and second, the people of Massachusetts.
Right, and that's what I wanted to ask you too about, John, is that seat has been historically held by Republicans for several years now. How do you reach out to across the aisle to other, you know, Democrats or Republicans? You're running as a Democrat yourself.
One thing, I've been referred to as a conservative Democrat. Right. And really what that means to me is that I'm conservative when it comes to fiscal issues. For example, my opponent and I share a lot of the same views as it relates to taxation, the effect that taxes are having on small businesses in the community, property taxes. I get it. I see these people every day when I go door to door. Anything I can do to ease the tax burden on these people is something I'd want to do. And I think the Republican-leaning voters, if that's the best way to describe them, they understand that with me, that I'm not, that with John Velis, it's more about voting the issue as opposed to the political party. I'm going to be very independent-minded down there and vote based on the issue and not what political party I belong to.
Right, and let's also talk about, a lot of times people out here in Western Mass can feel just a little bit forgotten by those on Beacon Hill. How do you go to Beacon Hill if you are elected and make sure that Westfield and Western Mass is really represented and getting the resources that are needed out here?
I think first and foremost, the Western Mass legislative delegation needs to join forces. I believe Western Mass makes up 8% of the legislature. That's not a significant number, but still, you know, if you join forces, chances are you're going to accomplish a lot more.
Right.
And just do whatever we have to do. Let people know that Western Mass is actually west of Worcester, and that Worcester isn't Western Mass. But I think it can be done with the right people down there.
Right. And what comes next for you, John, in your campaign?
Just, we know what we're going to do. We're just going to go door to door every day, making our case directly to the voters, phone banks, talking to them, letting them know who I am, what I stand for, and ultimately I think we'll be okay on April 1st.
All right, John Velis, great to meet you.
Thanks
so much for stopping in.
It's great to be here. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. The special election for the 4th Hamden District is on April 1st. Republican Dan Alley is also running for that seat. The winner of the election will hold that seat until the general election in November.